There is a moment in Buddhist history so quiet, so tender, yet so vast, that everything we call Buddhism today was planted there like a seed in fertile soil, waiting for the rain of lifetimes to coax it into bloom. Long before Prince Siddhartha slipped through the palace gates under a canopy of stars, long before the Bodhi tree whispered its secrets to a weary seeker, long before the first noble truth pierced the veil of illusion like dawn's first light, there was a young hermit named Sumedha. He stood on the edge of a world awash in suffering, and in that gaze he birthed a vow that would ripple across eons, touching every heart that dares to feel. Tonight, let's journey back to that cradle of compassion, to the first flicker of the Buddha's boundless heart. These 10 timeless sparks from Sumedha's story aren't just ancient echoes, they're invitations to awaken the tenderness already stirring in you. Watch to the end. The final lesson will rekindle your own vow to walk softly in a hurting world. Once you touch this compassion, you don't just hear the call, you become the bridge. Before we step into the forest of his soul, subscribe to Awaken Echoes, where Buddhist tales unfold like lotus petals, blending timeless wisdom with the quiet ache of now. Hit the bell for more journeys through the Dharma, and whisper "I'm vowing compassion" in the comments if Sumedha's light calls to you. Let's begin. 1. The Gilded Cage of Awakening. Imagine a life woven from silk and gold. Palaces where laughter echoed like temple bells, gardens bursting with lotuses that never wilted, feasts where the air hummed with the scent of spiced mangoes and honeyed rice. Sumedha was born into this privilege, a young noble whose every whim bloomed into reality, safety his shadow, abundance his breath. Yet, beneath the shimmer of silk robes and the clink of jeweled goblets, his mind stirred like a river beneath ice. It refused the lullaby of comfort, whispering questions that no servant could silence. One dawn, as the sun kissed the horizon in hues of saffron and rose, Sumedha wandered to the city's edge. There, beyond the polished gates, he beheld the raw tapestry of existence. A mother, her face etched with grief's sharp lines, cradling a child felled by fever's cruel hand. Elders bent like willows under time's unyielding weight, their steps faltering on dust-choked paths. Merchants bartered not just goods, but dignity, their eyes hollowed by the grind of endless want. In the fields, oxen lowed in exhaustion, their flanks scarred by the plow's bite. In shadowed alleys, whispers of war's shadow. Soldiers returning as ghosts, limbs lost to blades forged in distant fires. And beyond the visible, Sumedha's sharpened intuition glimpsed the invisible realms, hungry ghosts clawing at ethereal veils, hell beings writhing in flames of their own making, gods perched on thrones of illusion, blind to the fall awaiting them. A soft ache bloomed in his chest, not pity's fleeting tear, but compassion's deep river, flowing without banks. How fragile we are, he murmured to the wind, and how blindly we chase shadows, mistaking them for light. In that gaze, the gilded cage cracked open. Sumedha saw not separation, but interconnection. Every sigh of suffering a thread in the vast web of the cycle of rebirth, pulling at his own heart. What if, he wondered, true wealth lies not in hoarding gold, but in holding space for this world's quiet cries? Pause here, friend. Breathe into your own dawn. What gilded cage keeps you from seeing the suffering just beyond your door? Name it softly, feel the crack. The moral gleams like morning dew. Awakening begins not in escape, but in eyes wide to the world's tender wounds. When you refuse to look away, compassion stirs, gentle as a seed, vast as the sky. We'd love your whisper. Type "I'm vowing compassion" if this stirs your gaze. 2. The Blade of Renunciation. Deep in the forest's emerald embrace, where ancient banyans stretched like wise elders guarding secrets of root and sky, Sumedha sought the silence that sharpens the soul. He shed his silks for the rough weave of bark cloth, his feasts for the earth's simple gifts, wild berries bursting with tart promise, roots unearthed with calloused hands. Days blurred into nights of meditation, his mind honing like a blade on the whetstone of stillness. Visions came unbidden, insights piercing the veil of self, revealing the machinery of craving that turns joy to dust. He glimpsed the path to enlightenment, liberation's door, ajar in this very life. One more breath, one more letting go, and he could step across, ending the wheel's weary spin for himself alone. Freedom's whisper caressed him. Peace. Now. Rest. Here. But then, like thunder rolling soft over distant hills, another vision unfurled. He saw not his solitary shore of enlightenment, but the burning plain behind. Beings adrift in the cycle of rebirth's storm, deer fleeing flames that lick their heels, lovers torn by death's indifferent scythe, wanderers lost in deserts of doubt, their cries a chorus rising like smoke. Mothers with empty arms, elders whispering forgotten tales to empty rooms, children whose laughter cracked under poverty's boot, and the realms unseen. Gods tumbling from pride's heights, titans raging in envy's forge, hungry ghosts gnawing on the bones of unresolved longing. If I cross alone, Sumedha's heart echoed, who tends this inferno? Who quenches these thirsts while I sip from the spring of solitude? The blade turned inward, not to cut ties, but to carve space for all. He could taste enlightenment's nectar, cool and clear, yet he poured it back into the world's parched mouth. No grand gesture, just a quiet turning. From me to we, from now to forever. The forest held its breath as he vowed, I will not flee while others burn. I will stay, sharpen, serve, until the last flame flickers out. Feel that turn in your own breath. Seeker, what liberation do you hoard while the world knocks softly at your door? Let it loosen. The moral cut's true. Renunciation's sharpest edge isn't loss, it's the vow to wield your freedom as a lantern for the lost. In staying with the fire, you become the rain. 3. The rain of relinquishment. Words spread like monsoon winds through the valley. Sumedha, the noble turned sage, would empty his halls. Dawn broke with a hush, as if the gods themselves leaned in to witness. He flung wide the carved teak doors of his estate, gates that once guarded treasures now flung open like welcoming arms. Courtyards once echoing with the murmur of servants, now thrummed with the footsteps of the forgotten. Widows with threadbare shawls clutched like shields, orphans whose eyes held stars dimmed by hunger, farmers whose hands bore the earth's unyielding calluses, wanderers from distant caravans with tales etched in dust on their brows. No ledgers tallied the gifts, no guards tallied the takers. Gold coins spilled from lacquered chests like sunlight scattering on river stones. Enough to buy fields, build homes, mend broken roofs against the coming rains. Lands unfurled in scrolls of emerald promise, deeded with a nod and a name, whispered like a prayer. Food steamed in vast clay pots, steaming rice fragrant with cardamom, lentils simmered slow with cumin's warm bite, fruits plucked at ripeness, mangoes dripping gold, pomegranates bursting ruby seeds of hope. Cloths draped from looms of finest cotton, dyed in indigos deep as midnight rivers, wrapped around shoulders that had known only rags. Sumedha moved among them, his touch light as a dewdrop, his smile a quiet dawn. Take, he said, without ledger or lien. Let this ease one step, one breath, one tear held back too long. No questions of worth, no bargains for loyalty. His giving flowed even as mountain rain, drenching high peaks and low valleys alike. A leper with bandaged eyes felt the silk's cool kiss. A thief, trembling with unwanted grace, pocketed coins without glance over shoulder. He gives like one who owns nothing, the whispers rose, and shares all as if it's woven from air. True, for Sumedha had dissolved the mine in his marrow. What remained? Only the ache to soothe suffering salt in open wounds. As the sun climbed, the estate stood bare, echoing halls, empty vaults, yet Sumedha's heart swelled full, light as a leaf on wind. What treasure in your hands feels heavy with mine? Offer it in imagination, feel the flow. The moral falls soft. Relinquishment isn't emptying, it's overflowing. Give without grasp, and discover the wealth that needs no vault. The boundless store of a heart set free. 5. The Ninefold Forge of Tenderness. Twilight draped the forest like a velvet shroud as Sumedha withdrew to a solitary glade, where fireflies danced as wandering stars and the canopy filtered moonlight into silver lace. Alone with the night's vast murmur, the hoot of an owl pondering riddles, the rustle of leaves trading secrets, he turned inward, forging reflections on the vow's iron heart. What does it mean, he pondered, to pledge lifetimes to the alleviation of sorrow? Not fleeting pity, but a discipline etched in marrow, a courage blooming from ache. 9 commitments rose like flames from embers, each a vow tempered in the day's muddy grace. First, if beings lash with harm's sharp thorns, let my response be the soil that receives without grudge, soft, unyielding, fertile for growth. Second, insults like arrows in flight, let patience be my shield, not of deflection but absorption, turning barbs to balm. Third, if they seize what I hold, let giving multiply, a river widening to embrace the thief's thirst. Fourth, fear in their eyes, a storm of shadows, let my presence bloom as dawn's first warmth, dispelling without force. Fifth, hatred's venom, coiled and spitting, let love uncoil it gently, a counterpoison distilled from boundless wells. Sixth, when they stumble into pits of despair, let my hand extend, not as rescuer, but companion steadying the shared climb. Seventh, wanderers lost in fog-shrouded paths, let my steps trace lanterns illuminating without claiming the lead. Eighth, drowning in sorrow's relentless tide, let me be the shore's quiet curve, offering rest without demand. Ninth, burning in hatred's inferno, let me fall as rain, cool and ceaseless, quenching flames one drop at a time. These were no fragile petals of sentiment, they were steel petals, hammered on tenderness's anvil. Sumedha sat, breath sinking with the night's pulse, each vow a breath deeper into the heart's uncharted wilds. Compassion, he saw, demanded not ease but endurance, the warrior's poise in vulnerability's armor. As stars wheeled overhead, he rose renewed, the forge's glow lingering in his gaze. Sit with one vow tonight. What thorn would you receive as gift? Let it settle. The moral forge is bright. Tenderness isn't weakness, it's the vow's fierce discipline. Ninefold or one, each commitment carves compassion's blade, ready to serve without end. 6. The well of loving kindness. In the glade's deepening hush, where crickets wove lullabies from silken strings, Sumedha's reflections deepened like roots seeking hidden springs. To sustain this Bodhisattva flame through Eons' tempest, he discerned one nectar surpassed all: loving kindness, the gentle sun that warms without scorching, the river that quenches without claim. He envisioned it as water's essence, clear, yielding, eternal in its flow. Not the thunder of selective affection, but the soft patter nourishing all shores equally. The parched earth of the virtuous, the cracked clay of the cruel, the vast ocean of strangers, even the storm-lashed rocks of foes. Water asks no merit. It simply gives, tracing paths through stone, pooling in crevices of need. Sumedha closed his eyes, breath a bridge between worlds. He saw himself as that stream, pouring loving kindness upon the merchant's honest toil, cooling the fevered brow of the liar ensnared in webs of deceit. To the outcast, shunned like autumn leaves, a flood of warmth without condition. To the tyrant enthroned in isolation's chill, a trickle eroding walls of isolation. Becoming a Buddha, he realized with a heart's quiet thunder demands loving the world not as worthy or unworthy, but as kin in thirst's universal choir. Loving kindness, the first of the divine abodes, wasn't mere wish, it was practice, a daily dousing of the inner drought that births division. In visions, he wandered realms, offering cool draughts to hell's scorched throats, gentle mists to heaven's arid pride, until all drank deep, boundaries dissolving in shared satiation. The night air thickened with his silent recitation. May all beings be happy, safe, at ease, starting with the self's shadowed corners, rippling outward like stones in a pond. Dawn's first blush found him arisen, loving kindness's well brimming, ready to irrigate the vow's long march. Dip into your own well. What thirst in another do you meet with loving kindness today? Let it flow. The moral refreshes. Loving kindness isn't earned, it's extended, water-like, to every shore. Cultivate it, and the Bodhisattva's path becomes a river, carrying you home while ferrying the world. 7. The Raft across Eons. As the glade surrendered to Pradhan's velvet hush, Sumedha stood at the vow's precipice, the weight of futures pressing like mist on his shoulders. One final pledge crystallized, vast as the cosmos yet intimate as a single tear. When at last I ford the cycle of rebirth's roiling torrent, its currents of craving, eddies of ignorance, whirlpools of birth and death, I shall not linger on the yonder bank in solitary bloom. Nay, I will fashion anew the raft of the noble eightfold path, oars of right view and intention, hull of ethical sails, mast of mindful winds, and pull back into the flood. With this vessel, sturdy as diamond mind, I shall gather the weary, the flailing, the unseen, drawing them aboard one by one or in multitudes, until the river runs dry of sorrow. Visions cascaded, lifetimes unspooling like threads from Indra's loom. As a king in emerald realms, he built bridges of justice over chasms of inequity. As beggar in shadowed bazaars, he mended hearts with words sharper than alms. Once an elephant, trunk curling to shield a fawn from hunter's arrow. Another life, a rabbit offering its flame-warmed fur to a wanderer's chill. Sage in mountain hermitages, dispensing elixirs of insight. Outcast in village fringes, weaving tales that unraveled fear's knots. Millions of years blurred, joys like shooting stars, trials like monsoons carving canyons, each a polish on the vow's unyielding gem. Through veils of forgetting, the pledge endured, pulling him onward until, beneath a peepal tree's wise shade, Siddhartha Gautama drew the final breath of quest, awakening as Shakyamuni, the sage of the Shakyas. Sumedha's eyes, reflecting the emerging stars, held no regret, only the quiet joy of a promise kept. The raft wasn't for escape, it was for return, each crossing a verse in compassion's endless song. Ponder your raft. What one soul would you ferry first? Build it in breath. The moral sails true. The vow across eons isn't burden, it's the raft's joyful return. Pledge to cross not alone, and the cycle of rebirth's river becomes your shared voyage to shore. 8. The threads of interbeing. In the vow's afterglow, as night's chorus softened to cricket size, Sumedha traced the invisible threads binding all, interbeing's subtle web, where no drop of dew claims the spider's silk alone. He saw suffering not as isolated storms, but gales woven from collective winds, a farmer's drought echoing the merchant's greed, a child's hunger mirroring the king's indifference, an animal's fear resonating with the hunter's hidden terror. Compassion, he discerned, thrives in this tapestry's recognition. Compassion as the loom that mends frayed edges, loving kindness the shuttle weaving golden strands. No other exists. All are ripples from one heart's stone. Envision the web shimmering under moon's gaze. Pull one strand, a mother's grief, and the quiver touches realms afar, from god halls to hellish depths. Sumedha's lie in the mud, not solitary act, but node igniting the net, sparking vows and unseen witnesses rippling forward to Gautama's throne. This insight deepened his dedication. To liberate one is to loosen the world's every knot, for in interbeing, freedom flows undivided. He sat, palms upturned like lotuses, sending silent waves. May my thread strengthen yours until the web gleams whole. Dawn's light filtered green through leaves. What thread in your day pulls at another's pain? Tug it gently. The moral interconnects. Compassion isn't solitary. It's the web's awakening. See the threads, and your vow becomes the universe's quiet mend. 9. The fireproof heart of courage. As reflections waned and the forest stirred with birdsong's tentative heralds, Sumedha confronted the vow's shadowed twin. Courage, the fireproof heart that walks infernos unscathed. Eons loomed like mountain ranges, peaks of doubt where resolve might crumble, valleys of loss where tenderness tempts retreat. Yet he envisioned the Bodhisattva's flame, not devouring rage, but steady glow, warming without consuming. Compassion through fire demands endurance, not armored charge, but open-hearted step, feeling each blister as shared sacrament. He recalled the mud's chill kiss, thorns bite, a foretaste of trials, betrayals like hidden snares, loneliness echoing in empty caves, the slow erosion of self under service's tide. But courage, he vowed, is loving kindness's backbone, standing amid hatred's blaze, offering cool shade, waiting despair's flood, hand extended without recoil. Like the lotus rising, mud free from murk, the heart emerges purified, each scar a petal of wisdom. Sumedha rose, chest expanding with breath's quiet roar. I will burn if needed, but never wither, my light for those who grope in dark. What fire tests your heart's proof today? Step toward it softly. The moral burns bright. Courage isn't absence of fear, it's compassion's flame, fireproof and fierce. Walk the inferno and emerge not scarred, but luminous guide. The heart's fire calls, type, I'm vowing compassion to fan its glow. 10. The seed in every heart bonus spark, the echo of Sumedha's dawn. What if the seed that quickened in Sumedha's gaze isn't relic, but root alive in your own chest, pulsing with each beat, waiting for soil of intention? We hear his tale and murmur, such heights elude us. Yet the Buddha taught, every heart harbors the thus gone one's spark, dimmed perhaps by dust of habit, but ever ready to blaze. Sumedha's muddied bridge, mirror to your crossroads, the colleague's quiet despair, the stranger's burdened step, the inner whisper of your own unhealed ache. Choose patience over snap, kindness over scroll, understanding over urge, and you tread his path, not as world awakener, but soul tender, human in grace. Picture it, your mud, a tense call, a weary errand, bridged by a listening ear, a shared smile. No eons required, one breath vows it all. The seed sprouts in small soils, forgiving the mirror's flaws, extending hand to the overlooked, holding space for world's sharp edges. Awakening isn't throne or tree, it's this, the vow to love amid the ordinary, turning daily dust to diamond path. Sumedha smiles across veils, for in your tender choice his light endures. Feel the seed stir. What small bridge will you lay today? Plant it now. The moral dawn's eternal. The Bodhisattva's heart isn't beyond, it's within, seeding every act of care. Awaken it, and compassion's garden blooms, one heart at a time. Quick echo of the spark's one gilded cage. See beyond comfort, eyes to suffering, birth compassion. 2. Blade of renunciation. Turn from self-free to all-free. Vow stays the storm. 3. Reign of relinquishment. Give without grasp. Overflow births boundless wealth. 4. Muddy bridge. Become the path, devotion descends into radiant service. 5. Ninefold forge. Commitments of tenderness, discipline, the heart's steel vow. 6. Well of loving kindness. Love as water, quench all without condition. 7. Raft across eons. Return from shore, ferry the flood till dry. 8. Threads of interbeing. Mend the web, one knot loosens all. 9. Fireproof courage. Walk flames open-hearted, emerge lotus pure. 10. Seed in every heart. Your chest holds the spark. Tend it in the ordinary. You've touched the seed, now let it root. Sumedha's story isn't history, it's heartbeat, calling you to bridge your world with quiet fire. The Dharma whispers, no vow too small when laced with love. If this journey stirred your depths, like, share, and comment your spark. Beginners, one tender choice. Wanderers, your bridge's memory. For more tales of the heart's vast wild, subscribe and ring the bell. May your steps be bridges, your heart the rain.